So as an EFC student, you will be taught 4 main meditations, possibly more from time to time if there's guest teachers or I go a bit wild and go off the rails. But the 4 main ones you'll be taught are an overall body scanning technique, which can be done systematically or more randomly. There's a few other ways to do it, like focusing on pleasure, but they're the 2 main ways. Mindfulness of breath, which we these days I normally teach focusing on breath in the belly and the whole body because it's more conducive to building overall body awareness. A 4 elements meditation, which is we're doing less often. I wouldn't necessarily do that as your standard, but can certainly be a good way to get insight into your understanding of the 4 elements and understanding into how you habitually meditate as well. And then some sort of meta practice, or might do variations on that, like sympathetic joy. Is one of something called the Brahma Viharas, the divine abodes, which is basically emotional and relational meditations. So which should you do? Anything body-based, I'd say please, if you have a practice already that's very much visualization-based, you might want to stay away from that, or a very sort of Zen, pure awareness, or Jogchen kind of pure awareness practice. You might want to focus for EFC at least on one of these body-based ones, the body scanning, or the mindfulness of breath. I'd say sort of either of those is fine, whichever appeals. Both will give you benefit. You can even change between the 2. I think some consistency is helpful, but you know, day of one, day the other, that's possible too. They're both in a way full body awarenesses. Systematically, it may be that is, you know, you've got a very earthy tendency, so you might want to move away from that. Or that could be part of building an earthy quality for you. So we're also looking at how are we meditating as a kind of key feature here as well, even more important than the technique really. The metta meditation, I'd say if you're very heady, if you need to be a bit more heart orientated, or if you have a lot of fear or anger, the metta meditation should at least be part of your practice. Though remember, that is a body meditation as well. So when you do the metta meditation, you're not just doing the phrases, may I be happy, may I be well, may you be happy, may you be well. You're not just repeating them cognitively, this particularly in an EFC context, or just doing the visualization. There's a real felt sense of that, and you're really tuning into how you do love in your body, how you do compassion in your body. Paul Linden's framing of emotions as actions is very much part of how we see those more emotional, relational meditations. So your choice may be partly on preference, partly on need. So we're always balancing these 2 things on EFC, the same with your practice choice, right? Like, what do you like? What are you drawn to? Which may be the same as what's easy, habitual, maybe not, maybe more intuitive, like deep longing. So that, what do you need? And then what do you need? Like, what are you building? What's helpful to you? Some of it depends on if you're a complete beginner in meditation or you're coming in more advanced. For beginners, you probably want to use some kind of a noting practice to stay present, like counting, or with the body scanning, it might just be saying body, body. Noting is actually a little bit more complicated than it looks. So Shinzen Young helped me a lot with this. So in noting, you're focusing in, and it's either a sense of, let's say, you know, I notice body sensation. Let's say I'm doing body scan in a kind of random way. I'll notice the sensation, and it's either a sense of penetrating it or like a sponge absorbing it. So it's kind of a yin-yang. You can do both simultaneously if you're advanced. A yin-yang way of looking at it. And I'm bringing extra awareness and extra sensory clarity to that area when I do that. So I'm not just saying the word. You can even note without labeling. So it's not just body or knee. You can use labels that are body specific, or even quite a nice way, sensation specific. So like expanding, contracting, warm, cold, tight, pleasurable, not pleasurable, whatever. But in each case, I'm not just using the word. There's a real focusing in on the area and increasing the concentration. So with that jumping around body meditation, which can be much easier for beginners, the concentration is not just like 1 point, 1 point, 1 point. It's different points, but there's still concentration throughout. So there's concentration maintained throughout. Okay, so I'm aware this could be confusing if you're just picking a technique. Either of the body scan either formally through the body or randomly jumping around or the belly breathing. Either of those three options is totally fine for a beginner. In some ways, don't worry about it too much. You're still learning that basic body awareness in every case. As long as you're not doing something that's very, very cognitive, very visualization based, very abstract. You may be some of you may have been trained in almost like tantric type approaches, like chakras or particular breathing techniques. There's a lot in those, and they can be very good. I use them myself sometimes, so it's not, I would say, a good basic foundation for EFC. So we're always looking at meditation in the context of EFC rather than any other context we might have, like developing certain skills or becoming enlightened or whatever it is. The last kind of meditation we may do on EFC would be some kind of variation on like a deity meditation, it would be called traditionally, where we're working with archetypes. And these could be Western ones, it can be rock stars or film stars, it can be anything. Bit more different. We might do that later on the course as a bit of a wild card, but stick to the basics, stick to the breath awareness, the body scanning. They're the main ones, and to build that consistent body awareness. And remember, the success here is how it's affecting the rest of our life, how it's showing up in the rest of our life. That's the key thing with meditation. It's interesting on EFC actually that meditation could be a whole course in itself. In the community, we do have expert meditators, people like Andy Pace, Victor from Russia. There's several people in the community. Normally every EFC has 2 or 3 people who are highly experienced as participants as well. And we have access to teachers who have 40 years experience as well. So if you do have questions, challenges, meditation can really bring stuff up. It seems like a very simple practice, and often in the modern context, it's framed like this is to calm you down. Well, not necessarily. Once you get deeper into it, it can really churn things up, and that you can get problems along the way. So if those do happen, then keep talking, to your peer group, to your wider peer group, to your teachers, and we can really bring in people who are specialists if you need some tweaking to what you're doing. Some people might have just like a physical problem, they might have a mental health problem. There's different things we can work with. For example, there's people that find body meditation very triggering because they have trauma backgrounds. So we give them a sound meditation. We use a bell, like a Tibetan singing bell, until they're able to focus on the body. So there's things like that we might not go into as standard on the videos or on the main modules, but we can, give a lot of experience to help you with. So meditation, consistently people coming out of EFC say enriching their meditation or reinforcing or establishing for the first time a meditation practice is actually one of the main things they get from EFC. And I think it's no accident that every major embodiment teacher I know, every single one, is a regular meditator. So there's definitely something in it.